Hi guys, Crabby Chaos Coordinator here. Do you have a space in your house that just isn't functional for your family's needs anymore? And you want to fix it, but you don't want to go out and spend a ton of money on containers and items to fix it? Well, you're in luck, because today we're going to tackle a space in my home, which is my pantry. I don't have a whole bunch of money to throw at it either, so we're going to see what we can find around the house. And I have a couple items that I purchased just from Walmart and the dollar store for a minimal spend so we can get it taken care of. So let's get into it. Okay, so here is the first pantry that I'm working with. This is our main pantry in the house anyway. I'm not actually going to gut the whole thing because a lot of this is still working. This can rotator is amazing and it still functions quite well for our family, so I'm not going to do anything with that. And I'm not going to touch these snack bins at the top. These are some of my favorite containers from Walmart, and these work well to hold the snacks. They make them really easy to get down, so I'm not going to change anything with that. The mason jars, I really like the idea of mason jars, but after living with it for about 7 years, they just don't fit the space very well. And down here, I want to get rid of this center bin, this one right here. I don't want to get rid of it, but I want to change what's in it because I really don't use these packets of mix anymore. The bottom section is kind of just a jumbled mess, but mostly because things aren't put where they go. Okay, so this top section here is my only tall section of cabinet that I have in the house besides in the actual pantry behind me. And these center dividers are immovable. So some of this may have to stay, like my food processor, probably the literal only spot that I can put it in here. So it may stay, but all my baking supplies are clear over here. And I think part of the problem we have is I've kind of gotten out of control with buying fun Christmas baking supplies, and my daughter loves to bake. So this space is just not enough for what we have. In this bottom pantry section, I have some cake mixes and frosting and things like marshmallows. And the problem with this is it's working okay, but with the immovable center dividers, the section in the center is almost impossible to get to. So I'm probably going to do some reworking here. I need to do some purging in this cabinet too, and just kind of figure out what I really want in here and what really fits best in the space. The third section is probably my biggest mess. So as my kids have been getting older, we just aren't going through as much cereal. So this area can probably be reworked, or the cereal can go elsewhere. This real hot mess is supposed to be my lunch supplies, my containers and my snacks and things that I take specifically for me for lunches. The problem is the space really isn't big enough for what I need. So I'm looking to move that somewhere else. Okay, so a couple of the containers that I'm working with are some of my favorite pantry containers from Walmart, the Better Homes and Gardens dupe for the OXO containers. And then I also have these from the dollar store. I actually already had these on hand because I've been using them in other places. I don't use these for canned storage, but I do use them for lighter items. So things like top ramen might get used in these. So we'll see what we come up with. I also have these bins that I've just had hanging around. I think they came from Hobby Lobby at some point. And I also have some heavy duty shelf risers. I specifically purchased these from Walmart because they are small and they stack. So you take them like this and flip the lids in, or flip the handles in, I should say. Pull this one out, take the next one, and you simply stack them on top of each other.
So I have my trusty helpers, Timber and Ruger, here to help me, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Step 1 is to empty everything out. It's the only way to see what you're working with. Now I'm clearing out the things that I'm donating because I'm no longer using. I'm also starting to rearrange now that I've taken out the items I don't need.
I did want to stop and show you this. So these are just simple scrap 2x4s that we made use of to kind of make as risers. Just a really inexpensive idea. You could paint them, you could wrap them. We just left them as they were, just kind of utilitarian, but just an easy idea for you if you're looking to make your spices easier to see.
I'm continuing to clear everything out of those sections that I'm working with. It's really important that you give yourself a clean space to start with, then you really can see what you're working with, and it gives you the best opportunity to have a fresh start, which also allows you to test fit the containers before putting everything back. But before you can do that, you have to go through everything. And the first step to that is purging. Get rid of the things that you're not using. It leaves space for the things you actually want to use, and you'll be able to find what you need when you put everything back. So don't skip this step. You also need to see how things fit in the containers you have. Remember, keep an open mind. Things may not fit the way that you thought they were going to, and that's okay. It's important to keep in mind that this is a process, and things don't always go in a straight line or the way that we plan. So remember to be patient and work through the process. As I was putting these containers in, I really liked the look, but I knew right away that I wasn't going to be able to fit as much of my baking supplies in as I wanted. So I had to go back to the drawing board and come up with a new plan. So I started to work on the second pantry, and to my surprise, my food processor and ice cream maker fit on the second shelf, which meant I was able to open up a whole bunch of vertical space in that top cabinet. So sometimes plans change, but in a good way. Now I'm putting all of my lunch making supplies together, starting with the containers that I use to put everything in. Now I'm putting my snacks all in one place. It's always a good idea to put like with like. It makes putting things away easier, and it also makes it easier to find what you're looking for when you need it.
I feel like I have progress made finally. I have a place for everything when it comes to my lunch making supplies. So they're all in one place, and even my lunch bag over there has a home, and then my cereal has a home over here. So I think it looks a lot better. So on to the next thing. Okay guys, so these are some of my favorite containers from Dollar Store. They are small, but the best part is they come with a lid and it locks in place. So especially for light items, I use mine for hot cocoa packets, cider packets, tea, and today I'm actually going to use it to house my yeast.
Again, this cabinet didn't come out exactly the way I planned, but I actually like it better. I think it actually is going to work just fine. Just another reminder that things may not work as planned, they may work out better. So here it is, the finished product. I'm really happy with how things turned out. I love how these new containers fit the space perfectly. By purging this section, I allowed more room for things we were actually using. And by putting things away here and rearranging a little bit, it makes it so much more functional and easy to find what we need. So ultimately, I didn't end up changing a whole lot in this cabinet. I figure it's the best with what I have, and honestly, I just needed to purge and get rid of things that didn't belong. There's now cake mixes with cake mixes, cookie mixes with cookie mixes, and everything else has a place. Again, storing like with like is always your best bet. And while I didn't make my goal of getting all of my baking supplies into one section, I did get them into two adjacent sections, and they're so much better organized that I'll be able to find what I need when I need it, which was really the whole point. And that's it. That's my process from start to finish on reorganizing a space. I hope this video showed you that with a little planning and patience, you too can transform any space in your home, even with a tiny budget. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. And of course, I'll see you in my next video.